Have you ever snapped at someone and instantly regretted it? The answer is yes, you have. We all have. Or have you ever had a reaction that's offended someone in a very obvious way, or has given away your cards at a poker table?
And me, I'm 56 years old.
Damn! I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So today we're going to talk about the difference between reacting versus responding. And the way that I like to visualize it is to think about what separates us from animals first, at least in our brains. The way that I like to visualize it the most, and also some evolutionary psychologists, is breaking down our brains into three portions. Our reptilian brain, our mammalian brain, and our actual human brain. So our reptilian brain is basically the most deepest and instinctual part of our brain. It controls our breathing when we don't consciously think about breathing. It controls our heart rate, our fight or flight responses. It's really visualized with dominance, aggression, territoriality, and like basic habits and instincts. This brain is highly reactive, very rigid. It's very automatic. If you think about a reptile, they're kind of like robots.
This guy,
I am Crocubot.
right, Crocubot. So, you're half cold, unfeeling reptile, half also cold, equally unfeeling machine.
Yes.
Wow, so your origin is what? You fell into a vat of redundancy?
And it's found in reptiles, basically. Their smallest portion of our brain, the most deep portion of our brain, is the entire brain that a reptile has. The next part is our mammalian brain. This is where we have our emotions and our social bonds. So if you think about mammals, they take care of their children, they bond with them. Your amygdala is in your mammalian brain, which is your fear and reward processing. Also your hippocampus, your memories are in there. And your hypothalamus, your hormone regulation. So it basically governs your emotions, your motivation, your bonding, memory formation, recognizing safety and threats, and social interactions. So it basically supports parental care, play, group cooperation, and things that are crucial for mammals that we see. And this is a little more outer in our brain. So the reptilian brain is very core, it's heart rate, breathing, reactions. And then mammalian brain is emotions and play and taking care of your children and your hormones and all these things. And then the most outer part of our brain, our neocortex, is our human brain. This was evolved last out of all these brains. And it stores our cognition, our reasoning, self-awareness, and everything that makes us as humans more special with comparing to animals. Our neocortex is responsible for rational thinking, for problem solving, for language, future planning, and abstract thought. This is where our responses are stored versus our reactions in our reptile brain. So this is essential for civilization, culture, and the technology that we're using to communicate like this. So then what is a reaction and what is a response? A reaction is fast, automatic, and emotionally charged. It is the first feeling you get when you're stressed, when the bad news hits your news feed or somebody tells you, and that first surge of emotion that you get, that's your reaction. And it comes straight out of your reptile brain. It is short-term focus, it's very irrational, emotionally fueled, whether it's anger, fear, or frustration or anxiety. When you snap at someone, that's your reptile brain. That's the crocodile that snaps its jaws. That's what happened. Sending an impulsive text or email in frustration, panicking when you receive an unexpected news, overreacting to minor inconveniences. This all is what I call a reaction. Versus when you respond, you are calculated with your prefrontal cortex, as a human, a rational human. It's deliberate, it's thoughtful, it's goal-oriented, it's future-focused instead of short-term, emotional, and reactive. It's when you take a deep breath, you think, and then you reply rationally. It's when you use I statements instead of blaming someone for your emotions. It's when you practice self-soothing techniques, when you're mindful, when you're reframing, when you're labeling your emotions. When you set a boundary instead of exploding in frustration, or when you're assertive and polite instead of aggressive or passive aggressive, or just passive. So, we know that the right way is to respond instead of react. When you react to things, it's often that you make decisions out of emotions, out of fear, out of frustration, out of anger. And we know that these decisions are usually the decisions that like ruin things in our lives, whether it's relationships, whether it's making the wrong decision in general. Emotionally charged, anxious, angry type of snap reactions are usually the wrong short-term focused reactions to have. So then we have to try to respond instead of react. Now I can sit here and teach you some cognitive techniques to do this. Cognitive behavioral therapists teach this, like for example, pausing before acting, the 6-second rule where you wait 6 seconds after any kind of news and then you kind of respond, or taking 3 deep breaths, or labeling your emotions, like naming the actual emotions to yourself and kind of becoming more self-aware. But these are all long-term solutions that take time. My favorite practical techniques to try to respond instead of react, and I have reacted for most of my life. I've made a lot of big mistakes by just being a reactive reptile. The best things that have worked for me are, first of all, delaying major decisions. So, if something hits your plate and it's surging your emotions and you're about to react, try to catch it. And don't make any huge major decisions when you're all emotional, when you just I've had enough of this, when you're just like done and you're about to break up with the person that cares about you and regret it 30 minutes later. Don't do it. Give it some time, ask for some time respectfully, and take a second, take a day, sleep on it. This is why people say sleep on your decisions before you make them. Give yourself some time so that first surge of emotion dissipates, and then you can finally put your reptile brain aside and rationally think about it objectively without your emotions. And then you can make a proper long-term focused decision. A very famous quote by Jeff Bezos is regret minimization framework, where he asks himself if I will regret this reaction in a year. That's part of this. Like, give it a second before making a reaction instead of a response. Another practical technique is practicing exposure to stressful situations. This is going all out David Goggins style. Basically, cold exposure, controlled discomfort, running for long periods of time, or even meditation. Like practicing to calm that surge of emotional or energetic charge response of your fight or flight, your limbic system, your reptile brain kind of starting an alarm in your brain, learning how to bring that onto yourself and then how to manage it as you live your life. So cold exposure is a huge thing that you can do for that. And it teaches you that when that cold hits you, what can you do to calm yourself down and stay to your breathing? Like an ice bath, the first minute of any ice bath is torture. But if you stay in it and you learn to control your breathing and you learn to control your reaction, it's going to go a long way of you learning how to control those emotions. And then lastly, use social support. Use your friends, use your people, ask for external perspectives. Don't just make a snap reaction for important things in your life. take a day, calm yourself, and then talk to someone about it. Maybe I'm being too judgmental. Maybe I'm being too harsh on this person. Maybe I'm being stupid. Ask for perspectives, tell people these problems, and ask them to help you as objectively as possible, because when you're too into your own emotions, you're not going to be objective. Someone that's outside of the situation is going to be able to see that for the exact situation that it is, objectively. And so they're going to be able to help you better than yourself. And, you know, journaling and separating emotions from logic and from facts in real life, that stuff also helps. But these 3 techniques are the biggest things that have helped me personally. So basically, try to evolve past your limbic system. Don't be a reactive reptile. Try to be a rational thinking, responsive human as much as you can. We're all imperfect. None of us are going to be responsive all the time. You're going to end up being reactive once in a while. So becoming a calm, clear thinking, and socially intelligent person is really worth it. Give it a try. Thanks for watching.